Well, welcome back, beautiful souls. Today, I want to share something quite deep and personal with you. Not as many laughs, but it's still a story, and it's a story about fear. Not the fear of failure, but something far more insidious, the fear of stopping. I know. The fear of doing less. I know. The fear that if we're not constantly pushing, grinding, and doing more, we'll somehow lose ourselves. Hey, I'm Carly Gallagher, your metabolic alchemist. And as Tim Ferriss said, what we fear the most is usually what we need most of. I think that's what he said. Anyway, let's dive in. So picture this, some of you have heard my journey before, but me, like 10, 12 years ago, was 5 to 6 days a week, relentless adherence to strength training, walking 10,000 steps, running 5, 10 kilometers, doing HIIT classes, spin classes, boxing, you name it. I was literally at the gym once, twice a day, all the time. And yet my body was falling apart. And I know some of you listening right now are thinking, but Carly, if I stop my daily runs, if I don't hit my 10,000 steps a day, if I rest more, then won't I gain more weight? Won't I lose everything that I've worked hard for? All that money that I've spent on gym memberships and programs and, energy. Won't I lose everything? That fear, that fear of stopping, I know it innately because that was my fear as well. But I had a breaking point, or was it a breakthrough point? I think they're both important. My body had been whispering to me for months the constant aches, the repeated injuries, the pain. I just kept pushing through because that's what we are supposed to do, right? We're meant to push through the pain. If I didn't feel pain, then I thought maybe I'm not working hard enough. My body must be responding. I must be losing weight if I literally can't pick up my cup of tea to freaking drink out of the cup because I just did my PB on my bicep curls and it was like a 25-kilo dumbbell. I was not listening to my body. And you know what? Our bodies don't whisper forever. Eventually they scream, and mine screamed when my hip blew out. Years of lifting heavy, training too much, wear and tear, running, walking, hormones then going into chaos at age 40. It all came crashing down. And these months that it happened, the 3 months that I crashed completely and blew my hip up, that's how long I was forced to stop everything. The fear was relentless. I had so much anxiety about the fact that I had to stop everything in order to heal that it nearly was worse than walking down the aisle. I don't think ever I have ever been really afraid of anything. I've jumped out of a plane before. I definitely think the older I get, the more fearful of little things like that. But I remember when I was putting together the thought of this podcast, my biggest fear was when I walked out from, I was at my wedding, we were staying upstairs, and I had to walk out of the front door of Watergoes Beach at the resort there, and that's where we're getting married. And I saw everyone standing there looking back at me walking out, and I shit myself. I ran back inside and I was like, Mom. I grew up performing on the stage. I was a dancer. I was an actor. I was a singer. I wanted to be in TV. I had never, ever felt fear like that before. I never ran off a stage or didn't go on stage. And as soon as I walked out, I saw everyone looking at me. I was so afraid. It was nearly as bad as that, giving up doing any exercise. It wasn't as bad, but it was close, right? But you know what? That resistance I feared was even more profound when the physio suggested yoga for my hip rehabilitation. And my first thought was like, yoga, really? How boring. I'll never lose weight doing yoga. Really? Is that for like yoga? Yoga? I can hear the fear in that reaction, the terror that slowing down meant giving up, that doing less and meditating was like somehow going to be me being less of a person. This is where so many of us get trapped. We're telling ourselves, we love our punishing routines, even when we're in constant pain and when they steal all that precious time away from our overwhelming days already. I know you ladies out there go, but I don't have time for this. I don't have time for that. Well, you have time to go for a 10K run or a 2K bike ride, and that isn't even doing it. Let's be honest. You won't be listening here now if that was actually working. You'd be out on your 10K run, like loving it because your body is loving it, but you're probably not. You're probably, telling yourself, but I love running, but your body is like going, but I hate it. And also, what's the point if it's not even working for weight loss anymore? Like, as Albert Einstein said, we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. So here's what I discovered. Finally, resorting to the yoga mat, feeling frustrated and defeated and sad because my hip was blown up and I couldn't go to the gym. We're not actually afraid of doing less exercise. We're actually afraid of losing control. We're afraid that if we're not constantly proving our self-worth through suffering, we'll somehow become lazy, undisciplined, worthless. But here's the truth bomb. That changed pretty much everything for me. The present moment is the only time in which we have control. I'll say that again. The present moment is the only time which we have control. We only have one life and we live in the now, not in the past achievements of how much we could bench press, not in the future fantasy of what our bodies might look like. If we pushed harder, ran more, did our half marathon. It's not. It's right here, right now. So what can we do today to maximize living life to its fullest in the now while still getting the best of our bodies in the time of the now, which is just now, right? I know I'm getting deep and philosophical here. Well, after 3 months of enforced rest and gentle yoga, something miraculous happened. Despite doing what I thought was going to be really easy, I started feeling amazing. I felt strong. I felt balanced. My body started responding in ways it hadn't in years. I even enrolled in yoga teacher training, and the rest is history, really. I became a yoga teacher. Strength does not come from physical capacity. It comes from an indomitable will. And that was what Mahatma Gandhi said. So, right? He said that, right? I hope so. But I realized I had confused intensity with effectiveness. I thought getting stronger meant lifting heavier, running faster, doing more. But real strength? Let me tell you, real strength. Real strength is being able to close your eyes and stand on one foot for a minute. Real strength is flowing through a challenging yoga sequence, trying to keep your breath in balance and in time for over an hour or more. Real strength is listening to your body and giving it actually what it needs. When I finally incorporated my metabolic exercises, those 15 minutes 3 times a week, listen to all my other podcasts on that, alongside my rest and recovery days of yoga, the magic happened. My body became fitter. It became stronger. It was stronger than it had ever been before during all of those working harder beast day modes. And my personal best days now, it's not how much I can bench press. or leg press. It's holding the tree pose with my eyes closed. It's the grace of chaturanga and multiple asanas in a row with a slow breath and mindfulness. That's challenging. They're my PB days. If I can master that and still walk out of the yoga studio afterwards, that's a PB for me. That's a win. Another personal best is having the energy and the time I have now for my family, because I'm not exhausted, overtrained, and spending all of it somewhere else instead of with my family in the now. So my challenge was, and possibly is yours right now, I had to step into my fear. I had to trust completely the different process to seeing results. And if you're sitting there in one of my programs right now, holding on to those old patterns, your daily 5K run, your 10K steps, your 2-hour cycle, your obsessive step counting and overtraining, lifting heavy mantra, you're actually missing the whole journey. The only way to make sense of what change is to plunge into it, move with it, and join the dance. Who said that? My favorite, Alan Watts. So, what is 4 weeks really in the grand scheme of things? To actually test this fully and with your whole heart and willingness. It's nothing really, but in those 4 weeks, you'll discover how much time you get back in your day, how much more energy your body has, how nicer your body feels, how your core strength compares to your bicep strength, how your balance measures up. Spoiler alert, probably not great if you've been lifting heavy for years. How much less carbs you actually need when you're eating the right fat and protein instead of constantly trying to refuel after intense workouts. How much body weight you can lose by actually doing less. The deeper truth is this: the fear of doing less isn't really about exercise at all. It's about worthiness. It's about the lie we keep telling ourselves that value comes from our output and our hustle, our ability to endure pain and suffering. But if your worth isn't measured by how much you can endure, what if it's measured by how well you can listen, how gracefully you can adapt, how courageously you can trust? Now, that's getting deep. I'm not asking you to give up on movement, ladies. I'm asking you to give up on the attachment to certain movements that aren't serving you. I'm asking you to trust just for 4 weeks that your body might actually know better than your fear. Can you let go of the need to prove yourself through suffering? Can you step into the unknown territory of rest-based training? Can you trust that sometimes the most radical thing you can do is doing less? And Rumi said it: you are not a drop in the ocean, but an entire ocean in each drop. Your body is not a machine to be pushed through its breaking points. It's not a problem to be solved through punishment. It's a wise, intelligent system that's been trying to guide you towards balance. And if only you'd stopped and listened long enough to its whispers, to its ocean of knowledge, you would have heard what it was trying to say. That the treasure you seek, the energy, the strength, the body you truly want, it's not in the cave of more. It's in the courage to do less. It's in the wisdom of rest. It's in the revolutionary act of trusting your body's innate intelligence. So I invite you, beautiful souls, to step into your fear. Trust the process. Let go of what isn't working, even if it feels scary, because on the other side of that fear is the body, the energy, and the life you've been searching long for. Your journey starts the moment you're brave enough to step into rest. So here's your call to action, ladies. Remember, you're not giving up. You're giving in to wisdom, to balance, to the revolutionary power of enough in the now. And if you're interested, then you'll want to drop into one of my many starting points, the 12-day revolution or the 4-week magic, and you'll find the links to those in my show notes. And along with that, the wisdom that your body has been trying to tell you, because I had to learn it the hard way. And I want you to learn it in a much easier way. Let's face it. Until next time, remember, sometimes the most courageous thing you can do is rest. And the most revolutionary act is trusting your body's wisdom. I'm Carly Gallagher. I'll see you in the next Metabolic Alchemist. And that's a wrap. Phew. If something clicked for you today, I've got all the links to my favourite products, supplements, and exactly where to buy them waiting for you in the show notes. No hunting required. Want more personalised support? I totally get it. This journey can be overwhelming when you're doing it all on your own. Whether you're ready to jump into my one-on-one coaching programs or test it out first in my online metabolic flash course, I've got your back. Just head to the show notes for the links to those pages or my website, inner-alchemy.com.au, and let's turn those frustrating symptoms into your comeback story. Because honestly, the best version of you isn't in your past. She's waiting on the other side of these new rules. Until next time, remember, work smarter, not harder. Thanks for sticking around. I'll see you in the next episode.